so we're at the final day with some tips and tools to work on your hollow back. We're going to work on tocks on forearm. We're going to work on the pincher coming into it. And we're going to work on some scorpion and movements such as this to build the strength, okay? Please make sure you're warmed up. This is a really deep, intense day as every day, but because we're now going into pincher, which is a really intense, and hollow backs, you really need to make sure your body is ready and aware for it. You do not want to be doing all this great work to cause an injury. You want to do all this great work to cause some growth, okay? Pincher. Now pincher can be different for everybody. I always open up and do the stretches every time, which is in the first day, to make sure. When you open up, some people need a more narrow grip and some people need a wider grip. Some people prefer the hands like this and some people prefer them down like this. This I will say to you for this moment in time, I say discover you. I always try and discover me in my practice, and what works for one doesn't work for everyone. It's like life, we can all run, but we have our own unique abilities as runners and our own unique style. We can all talk, but we have our own unique voice and our own unique thinking that comes to that voice. So take your uniqueness, use all of the skills you can, wrapping your arms in, pulling your core in, making sure you're feeling no pain, making sure you're opening up, and then utilizing those tools, the fundamentals, to create your own best practice. So I'm going to come down hands flat, I prefer that personally, and I create like a semi-triangle, click, for my practice. Elbows are spread wide. I'm going to inhale here and come into my pincher prep. Now from here I'm going to engage my hip flexors. I don't want to jump up, I want to engage my hip flexors. So I'm going to go up on my toes and down, suck them into my core. Now don't let yourself sink in. From here in this dolphin position flat, do a few ups and downs, lifts, wrapping your arms in. Don't let your elbows go out, pulling your core and then your hip flexors in. We want the up. Feel that. That's what you want, because that up gives you the lift in your chest. If you don't push up, you sink down in your lower back and you will hurt potentially yourself at some point. We want to lift up to create that lift in the upper chest to get the deeper back bend. Now when you're ready, I want you to come up one leg at a time. One. Now engage your hip flexors, pull them into the hip sockets, lifting, 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 lifting. See how nice and slow and controlled that is? I don't want speed, I want control. Lifting, lifting, lifting. And then coming into center, and then coming down with the other leg, lifting, 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 lifting. Pushing up through your chest, through your elbows, don't sink down to the mat. From here, you may want to find a tap down, and then you want to change it over. Lifting, 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 and keep going. So you want to do about 5 reps on each foot, okay? Nice and slow and controlled. At the same time as you're doing your lifts, you don't have to come all the way down, you don't have to have straight legs. Pushing up away from the mat. So every time you see yourself sink into the mat, I want you to push yourself back up. Because now we're going to start, now we've got your pincher strong and engaged, we are going to start by going into the pincher scorpion and straight up reps. The reason we're doing this is we're opening up your back and your core and your glutes and your hips to strength work before we go into that final prep, suppose, of hollow back. And then we're going to do some tocks before we do the hollow back as well. So, coming up, however you want, now that your core's engaged, preferably slower, to feel the control, because we're going to work on pincher, straight pincher scorpion. So, you're going to come up one leg on your own control. From here I'm going to push up through my arms. I don't want to come down into the mat, see that? I want to push up. Wrap my arms in, and from here I'm going to bend my knees. Now from here, as I bend my knees, I'm going to lift my chest up by pushing away from the mat and bringing my legs until I find somewhere as depth. It could be your head or it might not be. It depends on your practice. Now once I've got my head, I'm going to bring my knees back into center. Okay, straightening up my body, pushing away from the mat and bringing it all the way back up. And we're going to do about 5 repetitions, So bringing my knees down before I curve, puff up my chest, pushing away from the mat, wrapping my elbows in, bringing down into pincher, scorpion, holding here, pushing up to come up, bringing my mulambundha in to bring my hips up, wrapping my elbows in, pushing myself forward to come up into straight pincher. Okay? Now that is a very intense, and you will probably fall a few times doing it until you get it, and that's okay. It's important that we slow down and find that control, because you won't have it in hollow back unless you can find it there. Because you need more open in hollow back, and you also need all that lower back control, glute control, core control, and this teaches you that by resetting from a straight line to a banana back line and finding control in that. Most of the time when we're always working banana back, which is curving backs, we tend to lose our front body strength and we tend to flip over. So what I'm teaching you is how not to flip over, how to become aware in mind-muscle connection, to re-engage the core from that hollow or that rounded scorpion back, banana back into the straight back, okay? Wrapping your arms in, pushing up so you can open up enough to at the same time. Now we're going to try some TikToks. TikToks will help you to get into the position of hollow back, because for the last bit I'm going to show you the hollow back, a few options, how you can get into it, okay? And this will be your backbend plan to open up and find some magic. So, TikToks. TikTok time is ticking. TikTok. So lifting up one leg, pushing up nice and high, wrapping your arms in, pulling your hip flexors in, making sure you can breathe, bringing up into your pincher, hips. Now, my TikToks, I'm going to go from a split position all the way down, lifting up through my chest. This is starting to get hollow back, starting to pop my head through, but not fully, and then bending my leg at the bottom to touch. From here, I want to tick up into a straight pincher, okay, ticking over into another split form to come down this side, pulling in my core, hip flexors to come into this slow tap. From here I'm going to come up into the split, nice and rolled over, push up away from the mat, wrap your arms in, core engage, glutes engage, hip flexors engage, push forward, don't bring your head all the way through, touch down, slowly bend your leg, and then swapping over into the straight position, into the straight, before you swap your feet into the split, and then coming nice and controlled, pulling your mulambundha in, pulling your hip flexors into your hip socket, pushing away from the mat and coming down. So, the reason I did that type of TikTok, that creates control. The other one where you're just jumping to and from, there's no control, and therefore you might be able to do it, but you've got gravity assisting you and you've got no awareness in your body. We want awareness in our body so we don't cause injuries, okay? Now, at the very last point when I was getting my foot over my head down into the ground, I had the ability to nearly do a hollow back. And that's where we're going to start for our hollow backs, okay? So the last pose is the hollow back that we're building to learn to grow into, to keep growing from. So coming up exactly the same way, set up your elbows, set up your hands, wherever you need. Some people find that this position creates more room for a hollow back. Just be aware. The width of your elbows, for me I have it at my shoulder width, I have a wider shoulder. Some people find that that has too much flexibility involved, they need a narrower width. So find what is with you where you can still wrap your arms in and bring your core engagement in, okay? So let's have a look at that hollow back, shall we? So exactly the same movement. I'm going to take it over single leg. So I'm pulling my hip sockets into my core, pulling my mulambundha to my hips, lifting up away from the mat to puff my chest up and bring my head forward. So I've brought my head forward and now I'm ready to go into my hollow back. I'm going to use my hip, pull it in this bent leg here that I'm shaking, and I'm going to pull in this one too, and then I'm going to lift up and puff up my chest. Then I'm going to tilt my hips, and then I'm going to pull in, and then I'm going to tilt my hips, and there's your hollow back. Now if you need to, you can touch down and do taps, okay? And that's your TikTok engagement. and coming back over, you're pulling it all in, pulling it all in, okay? And to get into this position is the same, pulling it all in to lift up and tuck your head forward, okay? Pulling it all in to come over. So, why I showed you the TikTok slow was there's also your hollow back involved. So I'm not going to show you every hollow back. You only need to work on one, understand it for now, and then we can grow from there. So I hope you enjoyed this program. If you have any questions, please ask. I'm always here and happy to help. It is an honour for me to help you, and it's an honour to grow together so we can all do the dreams that we want to do. And make sure you listen to your body always, warm up always, and do you always. Don't look at someone and say, oh, I can't do that, I'm not very good. Someone else is looking at you and saying the same thing, wishing they were you. So look at you and go, oh wow, look where I've grown, I'm so grateful. A year ago I couldn't do any of this. So have a good practice. Thanks for joining me. Look forward to hearing from you. Ciao.